JJ the CPA here, CPA to CPA, EA, and Tax Pro. So I'm going to do a weekly series on this stuff. And, I travel around the country on behalf of a wonderful company called Surgent Continuing Professional Education, CPE. So if you're not getting CPE by them, check them out. They have some online spectacular continuing professional education. They're just always on it. And on my website, jjthecpa.com/tour, a lot of those locations, I'm going to be there for Surgeon. So as we get closer, I'll actually have links on those. And I don't actually make any money. I get a flat amount for the day. And a lot of times you book them through your society because these are inside the society. So more just telling you that because I love talking to CPAs. I've been, I think, to 50 different cities in the last 18 months and talking about the tax code and tax updates and all that good stuff. Going to be interesting this year. But anyways, what I wanted to focus on in terms of kind of this new weekly video that I'll do in kind of really just those that are in tax, let me just say it that way, those that probably have their own practice, or if you don't have your own practice, you have your own client list, or you're a partner, you're on your way to be your partner. But I think what you really want to do, because this one's on May 1st. I won't usually say the date, and that way they'll always be kind of timeless. But May 1st, we're going into like an unknown period, and you probably saw that the clients are really turning to us, you, with the crisis and the PPP, and we're there to help. Okay, and we have been helping, and we've been going above and beyond and working extra, not only helping the clients with that, but doing taxes. I'm pointing over here because I got a bunch of taxes. And now when we go into May, I think and you don't always have to agree with what I'm saying in the sense of maybe take a little bit of what I'm going to say here in a little bit, and just well, how do you adapt it to your practice? But a lot of times our personalities in, first of all, being CPAs, EAs, tax pros, right? Working with the numbers and doing tax. And we're kind of like mini lawyers and, dissecting the tax code. And we're enjoying probably what we do because our clients are happy with our results, right? We want to make them happy. Unlike auditors, the client doesn't want them there. This is why I like doing tax. Because when I first started, probably like a lot of you, I worked at a large CPA firm, and when you join in the fall, what are you going to do? Some audit. Anyways, our clients want us there in the tax world, right? And then as well as I do, right? We could also be considered counselors, as in you end up hearing a lot of different things and stories. And here's the thing, I want you to get yourself on guard a little bit. And you'll understand what I mean by that here in a second. Get on guard a little bit in terms of kind of where your line is with your time, okay? So I know that there's some practices that, it's here's my time, here's the bill, or some it's based on time, maybe it's even a flat fee. Maybe some practices have, well, it's just a flat fee for the month and it includes bookkeeping, payroll, and your tax return. So I'm not talking about billable time here, but I'm thinking figure out where you're going to draw the line in time on clients wanting stuff from you that are scope creeping on you. What scope creep, you probably know, but it's, what is it that you really do for this client? Okay. So your client may have a flood in their house, and don't get me wrong. I mean, if it's your brother-in-law who's a client, you might be over there trying to mop it up. But you might get a call from them. But if the client were to say in a panic, well, what do I do here? And do I drain this? And then, well, what kind of hose do I need? And if you started to tell them probably one thing, unless you do this as a hobby, you're probably going to end up telling them something wrong, or you didn't think through something, or you forgot this, you forgot that, because it's not what you do, right? Now, think of this. Sometimes our client, they don't know who else to call. So not just talking PPP, maybe, money's running out. There's going to be some stress on marriages. There's going to be stress on business partners. Family-owned businesses will have stresses. There's going to be a lot of emotion going on with our client going into May and June and July. And we take that on. And I'm not saying don't take it on. I'm not saying care less. I'm not saying draw the line in the sand and you're just going to have to become rigid. I'm not saying you change it all. But I want you to decide, how much time are you going to allow a client to use of what you should be doing otherwise? You say it another way. Client calls you, what's your stop clock? Is it just until they're done talking? Is it, well, they're a big client, how much time are you going to give? And then the reason to do that is that then you're going to be more fair, because if you have a lot of clients, you have to start thinking through like, okay, so these clients are calling, but these clients have work in-house. I'm listening to these clients and not charging them, and this work's not getting done. Okay? So where are you going to draw the line? How are you going to draw some boundaries on that kind of stuff? I know one of the things that I'm doing is I have an email going out that just says, hey, with all the crisis, I'll follow up as soon as I can, right? Because it's just been unpredictable what's going to happen today. Like all of a sudden there's all these interruptions. So maybe put some boundaries around if someone's emailing you and they get a quick reply. During tax season, I don't take phone calls. Don't. JJ's taking care of a client. I am. If I have work papers in front of me, I'm in the middle of surgery. It's unfair to the client that I'm working on right now and their work papers and checking that and this and that. And then all of a sudden someone calls and I'm like, oh, hang on, hold on to that spleen, keep the sponge on there, keep that, nurse, do this. Hey, well, what's up? Yeah, what are you doing? Okay. So I don't take phone calls because guess what? Especially during tax season, I'm never not in surgery. Okay. Now I may tell my staff, hey, if Mark calls, let me know because I'm expecting the call. There are always those, 4 or 5 clients that it's like, well, no matter when they call, someone's going to come get you. But you need to put some boundaries around it because you're going to find that your clients are going to need you more, but are they going to need you more for what you do for them? So the other thing I would suggest that you do going into this month is, who do you know that you can refer your clients to for the things that they're going to need that you don't do? Okay. Someone calls you and you're like, gosh, the cash flow and this, and gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. You know what though? Who you really should probably visit with is, talk with your bank or give Jason a call that's at your bank, or, maybe you should sit down and talk to a financial advisor or talk to somebody who's doing a financial plan. I know sometimes, especially with us, we're protective. We're like, well, I'm not sending them to a financial planner. All they're going to do is sell them some life insurance and then tell them that they got to put money in an IRA, and I'm not going to have them go talk to them. Okay, that's fine. But you're going to end up hearing things and giving advice that you have no business giving advice on. Okay. And you're going to just waste your time. And then this work's not getting done, because before we know it, we're going to have a July 15th right here. And I know we have an extension, but guess what? When we file these extensions in July, it's going to feel a lot different. It's like, when you go to bed at like 4 a.m. and then the alarm goes off at 6 a.m., you're like, wow, that was quick. That'll be July 15th to September and or October 15th. So you're putting together a plan for for May and June and maybe July of, where am I going to draw the line? Like, how much time am I actually going to give? Like, how many clients do you have? Are you going to give every one of them 5 minutes for free? What's the total time? And then what is that? Yes, no. Get a list together. So when people call, and you may not think of everything, but you're trying to think of this. When you're talking to a client, you know how you solve their problem? Refer them to somebody that you feel comfortable that can solve it. And if you're like, well, I'm not going to give them one name because they can come sue me. Well, then have 3 names or have 2 names. Okay. And, train your staff to maybe do a little better digging out what they're calling about. Well, they know blah, 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 blah. Train your staff to be like, oh, I know, but this time of year, JJ really wants me to figure out, oh, he'll know. It's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, JJ's going to be actually mad, even though you're telling me that he's going to know. he's going to be mad at me because I don't know what you're calling about. So what you're telling me is JJ's going to get mad at me, and I just need you to tell me what you're calling about. Like, I've trained my staff to have some fun with it, right? To literally get it out of them. Or, hey, you want to go ahead and email him. Come up with plans here to protect your time. Also protect this. Also protect this, okay? I would assume, being similar, right? I don't charge my clients for I'm doing budgeting. I don't talk to them. I'm not going to charge them to hear about what their brother-in-law is doing and not doing. I'm not. And maybe you're hardcore and you're like, well, I do. Well, is that what you do though? I mean, is that really what you do? I mean, you also selling candles? So my point is, what'd be also good is write down, like, what is it that I do for clients? Put on sticky and put it right there. What is it that I do? So now when you're talking to a client and you look at that, you're like, you know what? I don't really do this. So I know that we're going to lend an ear, right? And we kind of got into a mode running with our clients, helping them with PPP. Why? Because it included calculations on the calculator and pulling together 940 and 941. So hopefully you've seen some of my videos that you shouldn't touch forgiveness calculations with a 10-foot pole, because it'll be a guaranteed that you're going to lose clients over it, and a guaranteed that you're going to have some kind of legal issue over it, or someone's going to talk ill of you on something you don't have any control over. So don't get in the forgiveness calculations, because the banks right now are going, I don't know, we're waiting for more guidance. So how in the world do you think you can help your clients when you're not even the decision maker? You don't sign off on it. There's no form 2848 that you're going to sign and go sit in front of that bank. Okay? It's really kind of none of your beeswax at this point. So you're putting together a plan. And when's the best time to do that? Okay? Before it all happens. So be thinking through, how do you protect your time? How much time are you going to give? Right? How do you set boundaries? Is it you get an auto reply on the email? Is it that, you're going to limit phone calls? Or maybe you limit phone calls 3-4 hours a day, right? Because guess what happens? You have a client and they're like, oh my God, okay? By the time you call them back, at the end of the day, or email, or, I solved it. Because I don't know about you. Now, I've done a good job. I don't do payroll. I don't do sales tax. I barely do any bookkeeping, okay? I don't have clients that have inventory. I don't have clients that are multi-state. I don't have but one C Corp. My businesses are service, okay? And so I went from a practice this size that I owned down to this, okay? Specialized, and got rid of all that stuff, all the noise, okay? All these various deadlines. So you may have a different practice than you. I mean, you clearly have a different practice than me. But what I'm telling you is a client calling frantic, like, what are we doing that we would actually need to take a frantic call? Like, what is it that you're doing? I know that I want to feel good and important. This client's worried. I want to take care of it. But what are you doing? What are we doing that, like, someone has to talk to us in the next 5 minutes? I mean, think about it. You know what it's usually about? The bank needs a financial. It's actually not our role, right? My bank has a question. I'm trying to get this loan. Hey, I'm at the car dealership. How should I title it? Right? Hey, should I buy it in this account or should I buy it in that account? Right? Hey, I'm going to start a new business. Should it be an LLC? Hey, I'm sitting here doing some estate planning. Could you give me that? None of that's what you do. You just happen to have that information that they're lazy and don't have available, even though you send it to them in PDF and they have a Dropbox or a portal. Because I doubt you're the one that's actually filling out applications and helping them at the bank. And if you are, you're cruising for a bruising at some point. You're not at the car dealerships. Are you really an attorney that you should be making a decision on title? No, but at the same time, we're going to be like, well, yeah, if you want to write it off in the business, put it in the title, title the car in the business. But it also, our clients, they trust us, right? We're a trusted profession. So they want to rely on our advice. They want to come and ask us. So I'm not saying you don't help them. What I'm saying is bounce them to somebody else, because what is it that you're really doing? Probably doing tax returns. Maybe you're doing bookkeeping. Maybe you're doing payroll. Maybe you're doing sales tax. What you aren't is a counselor. What you aren't is somebody solving all the problems that are coming about. Because what happens typically in May and June and July, right? A little relaxation time, doing extension work, getting ready for the next thing that's due with whatever sales tax or payroll or whatever, right? We're not usually in May, June, and July dealing with crisis circumstances and businesses that are having trouble. So the way that you can help your client, and they're going to be like, oh gosh, they're the best, is they call and they're frantic. Don't take the call right then, right? But then when you call them back, hey, what's up? I'm having an issue with this, and this. Okay, well, why don't you go talk to this person? Bounce them. Okay? Protect yourself. Because here's the thing. You love your clients and they love you and you want to take care of them, but we can't be everything to all of them. Sometimes they just don't know who to go ask. So they come and ask the one person that they love and trust, which is you. But you got to protect yourself. And I just mean your time, right? We already give so much time. I mean, I got wrinkles that I probably wouldn't have if I wasn't in this profession for going on 28 years, right? But we want to also protect our other clients, right? Because while that client's over here like, oh my God, that you weren't expecting, there's a client over here that's just waiting on you, cool as can be. Usually those are the clients that pay you the most. Think about that. Protecting your other clients. Protect your pocketbook. And then think of this. How do you best serve anyone in anything? You have to be in the best shape you can be, right? You can't really help all your clients, okay, if you're not in good shape up here, right? So we got May, we got June, and we have half of July. Everybody's going to be fine that all of a sudden you don't have done stuff by July 15th. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like, well, don't get stuff done. What I'm saying is, and you get it, no one cares about July 15th, right? All the clients are like, whoa, I got to get it done by April 15th. There's a boogeyman coming. Okay. July 15th, no one's going to pay. They're going to even forget that it was probably due July 15th. Right? So pace yourself, protect yourself, set boundaries, stay in your lane, and remember, you got to take care of you. All right. I am planning that these CPA to CPA won't be this feel-good psychological recommendations and stuff like that. I might throw in some management stuff that I'm just doing. I wouldn't even call them tips. It's just like, well, hey, here's something I'm doing. Everybody knows how to run their own practice. But I do plan on next week, I'm going to hit ERC pretty hard. And I'm going to do it in a way that I'm presenting it to you. And if other people want to, pay attention to it, they can, but I'm going to be putting it together from one professional to another. All right. So JJ the CPA to CPAs, EAs, and tax professionals. I do have to say, I'm just honored. I'm just honored. If you made it to here, I'm honored that you watch my channel. It means so much to me. I never in a million years thought that I would be getting thank you notes from various CPAs and EAs and tax professionals around the country, that they would tune in or wear a shirt of mine or a koozie. It's just an honor. And I know my grandfather, Omar Abbott Slater, CPA, would be just, and it is, I'm sure, wherever he's at, it just would bring a real smile to his face, because that just, in my mind, it just shows that what you're doing is quality and it's genuine. Because guess what? You know who one of the hardest people to fool is us. We're the hardest ones. Not much gets past us. right? Just the way that we think. So it makes me feel as though what I'm putting out there is good stuff. It's quality. It's sturdy. All right, here we go. JJ the CPA out.